Have you ever seen a picture from above of a forest? Like a really dense forest where you see like the treetops all kind of really close together. And then have you seen a picture or seen a brain? Right? It's that same sort of, I always think, gosh, that looks like that. Right? Like those kind of lumps and clumps all together and that aliveness. And I don't think it's a mistake when things look like other things, parts of our bodies look like fruits and different, right? There's something they're trying to tell us. And there's just such a correlation, I think, between our brains and that dense forest. If we think about our pathways, like the pathways in the brain and neurons firing and making all these connections and just paths through the woods. And when you create a path or someone creates a path in the woods, right, then everyone uses that path because it's already there and it's easy. It's easy to use, which makes sense. But other paths can be created. We were hiking just a couple weekends ago with a bunch of friends, and it was after that crazy stormy. Well, there were a couple of stormy. Yeah, there was a couple of stormy evenings and possibly tornadoes that came through, and so there was two parts that we came to where a tree was down. Huge tree was in front of the path, and so you could see we weren't the first ones that came upon that, but there really wasn't a new path yet. But we were like, well, you could go around this way, you could go around that way, But after a while, we're all going to go, oh, it goes over here now, right? We're going to see that path. And in our brains, we create paths that are easy by repeatedly using them, right? It's the same thing. We think the same things over and over, and then that just becomes like our default thinking. They say 90% of our thoughts are the same as yesterday's, which means they were the same as the one before. So we have all these old things because we're using those same pathways. And that's fine if that's good. It's not fine if it's creating stress, disease, unhappiness, suffering, whatever. And my teacher Henry always says, if you're not at peace, you just had a thought that disturbed your peace. So if you can realize, I'm not at peace right now, what was I just thinking? Just go back half a second. That's probably one of those that you don't want that path to be worn. You don't want everyone to keep going down that path. But so many of us are suffering just because we think what we think, and we think that's just how it is. Like that's just how it has to be, that there's no changing that. So we just kind of by default are thinking and feeling, because our thoughts create our feelings, right? What we're thinking about what's happening, what we're thinking about someone else creates our feelings. And so then we can be unhappy because of what we're thinking, but we just think, kind of there's nothing to do about it. So a lot of people end up just being kind of the victim of life, just by being the victim of their own thoughts. That as if this just my personality or this just my thoughts, but it can just be that path in the forest has been worn and everyone's using it. You can make a new path. There are several ways to make a new path. Gratitude is a good one. I don't have like a regular daily gratitude practice now. I mean, I know some people wake up and think of something they're grateful for, so that's great. When I turned 30, my best friend gave me a gratitude journal, the Simple Abundance Journal of Gratitude. You can just get a notebook, it doesn't matter, but Simple Abundance Journal of Gratitude is good because she gives you, I forget how many, in the beginning of the book there's like 130 or something, often overlooked blessings. So if you can't think of anything that day, you can like see if you can read the list in case you really are struggling to find something that you're grateful for. And then there's just 5 lines every day to write down 5 things that you're grateful for that day. So I did that for a year, and I'm sure that started, once the path is worn, it's just like in the forest, everyone's going to use that. So you just have to get the machete out or trudge on that rough ground at first. And it can feel like a struggle at first to think something different, to think something new. When I do emotional freedom technique with people, or energy clearing and like tapping and those kind of things, it's in tapping there's a phrase, so you say whatever the problem is, like, even though I can't forgive so and so, whatever that thought is that disturbs your peace, right? Even though whatever, and then you say, I love and accept myself, or I deeply love and accept myself. It's even better. And I can see when I'm working with people, if that's a struggle to say, I deeply love and accept myself. And I usually ask, does that feel hard to say, I deeply love and accept myself? And they say, yeah. I'm like, just say it anyway. Just keep saying it until you wear that path. I love and accept myself. I deeply love and accept myself.